Hello, welcome to the Smalls Talk podcast. I am your host, Tiffany, joined by my husband and co-host,
Brandon,
and we are the Smalls.
Join us each episode for a small talk about marriage, family, fitness, and life.
Yes. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started with the Smalls world. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
I can start this week. I think you started last week.
I did.
So we have a bunch of things going on, several of which we can't discuss, not yet at least. But one thing I can discuss, the month of March is Women's History Month. And in honor of Women's History Month, I wish I would have had the product here with me. My mother, Beverly Smalls, wrote a children's book. What is it? Hava and the
Unicorn.
Hava and the Unicorn. It is available on Amazon, Walmart.com, Target.com, Books A Million. Basically, wherever you go to buy your books, that's where it will be available. I ordered my copy yesterday. I think I got a update today saying that it will be here on Wednesday. I will go ahead and put a link in the description where you guys can also go and purchase her book. And then on our next episode, I will show you what my copy looks like. Hopefully I can get mom to sign it for me. I think she'll do that for me since I spent my money. Because she was actually going to give me the book for free, but I was like, no, we don't do that around here. We support our own. So I'm going to pay the regular price that everybody else pays. Don't do me no favors. Except for when you go on, make those TV appearances. I am going to be the person that goes with you since I was the first one to buy the book.
That's not what she said.
It doesn't matter what she said.
Oh, okay. You done?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, my Smalls world, recap. We had COVID probably like, I don't know if it's
exactly
been
a month ago.
And I remember sitting here at my desk one day and I was coughing and I was like, didn't feel like getting up, so I had a napkin, so I was spitting in the napkin. So the baby girl who didn't have COVID, Brandy, she was like, Mama, now when you spit in this napkin, can you make sure to sanitize your hand and don't touch the doorknob and touch the refrigerator? Because I got to touch that. And I have sickle cells. I don't need COVID. And I was like, somebody please come and get her. Please come and get this child, okay? But it's like kids say the dirtiest things. They don't really care what they say. And the second child is so different. She would just say anything. She really doesn't care really what comes out of her mouth. She don't care if she hurt your feelings. She gonna tell you the truth, how she feel. And so we working on her. But I don't know where she get it from.
I couldn't tell you. We about to fuss at her now because she done crept out of bed. Brandy, go to bed. She done crept out of bed and think I couldn't hear her. I heard her as soon as she got in the living room. I was hoping she would turn around on her own instead of me having to yell at her. But hey, such is life.
We sent her to bed since 8:30. 8:30. This is the life that we live. 8:30.
It's 10 o'clock right now.
And she's still in bed. She want water. She took her earrings out. Everything. She just won't go to bed.
No worries. She'll be crying in the morning.
She will be.
I won't have no mercy.
She will be.
Get up and do what you're supposed to do.
Well, that was my Smalls world. My little snippet.
Cool.
The topic for today, I think the topic is for today, you're going to get to know the Smalls a little bit better. It's called The Truth and Challenges About Marriage. Of course, you know, we've been married now. Next month, it'll be 12 years. 12 years in the game. We survived so far, y'all. 12 years. So we're going to start. And I'm going to ask Brandon a question.
Okay.
What does marriage mean to you? First.
To me, and this is just my definition, my belief.
Okay.
It is when two people decide to come together as one to start their own family. You know, leaving the structure that they have been used to, whether they were, you know, currently living at home with their parents, but basically leaving that, coming together, forming your own family, whatever that looks like for you, regardless if you decide to have kids or not, but to continue to further the world in a sense.
Okay.
You know, as most of you guys know, we are believers.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at, you know, marriage from a Christian standpoint. Um, and of course, one of the commands was to be fruitful and multiply. Not everybody wants kids, and if you don't want kids, you know, that's your personal decision.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fault you for that. But, you know, for majority of people,
Okay.
you know, you get married, you have kids, you want to raise them up to be productive members of society, and then have them to repeat the process.
Okay. That's a good answer. Well, mine is short and sweet as always. I just said marriage means to me is two people who love one another, who want to be in a relationship with each other, right? You care that much as you want to go before God and, you know, your vows and all. You just want to be you and him, right? I kept it basic, kept it simple. But also you have to understand in marriage, it's a lot of things that come into marriage. It's not, I'm not going to say it's easy or hard. It's what you make of it. So we're going to go through some things about our marriage. What are some truths about our marriage? And I guess we're going to go through some challenges about our marriages too. Because I think every marriage do have a challenge. It's something you have to overcome. As you get deeper and deeper into marriage, you learn more about the individual, more about yourself. And then you're more vulnerable. You're able to open up and explore. You're able to grow. You know, if you wanted to make it last, you're able to grow. So I'm going to let you go from there.
Well, one of the things that I heard somebody say about marriage was be prepared to say I do to multiple people. What does that mean? So people normally think you stand in front of the judge, the preacher, the county clerk, whoever that person may be that's officiating the wedding. People think that you are just saying I do to that person. In a sense that is true, but in a sense that is not true, because that person is going to continue to evolve. So you at, how old were you, 29?
29.
You at 29 was different from you at 31 when we had our first child. You were, again, different at 33 when we had our second child. No, I was 33. You was 35.
35.
Yeah. You were, again, different at when you turned 40. You know, you were different, well, no, I guess. Yeah, you were different in 2011 when you got laid off. You were different at, I guess, 2 or 3 years ago when you was in a position, when you got a different position, and now you were making more than me. Which, I mean, I could care less, you know, as long as bills being paid. I don't care, you know, who's making more money. You know, it's not a big deal, but you're constantly having to learn to love the person who is evolving. I can't expect for you to be the same 20, when did we meet? 2005? So I can't expect you to be the same 25-year-old that you were, you know, 17 years later. You know, because I know I'm not the same person that I was 17 years ago. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. So, you know, just being prepared to learn to love and grow with somebody as they are growing.
I mean, that's a good point. And I do agree. Because at a certain extent, you know, the person is, like you're saying, the person is going to change. And you have to be willing to have an open mind to accept the person and know that you and the individual is not going to grow at the same time. And that's what they had to accept, that even with you growing in Christ and you becoming a minister and things you're doing, God did not elevate us at the same time. Now, knowing that, I know that I had to be the supportive wife to support you. Because on this journey, and like I always say, on this journey, if you follow God, I shall follow you. I shall let you lead, right? And so with that being said, I truly believe that as a person evolve and a person grow, you know, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. So that wife is that helpmate, right? And it can be vice versa, but the wife is the helpmate. So I think it needs to be in cohesive that as he's growing, or like I advance in my career, you supported me. I have these ideas, you support me. And I think it has to be, the relationship has to be supportive relationship. We might not always agree, but the support has to be there. Has to be there. Now in our marriage, I think the truth in the marriage is, like we just talked about, support has to be love. You have to keep it spicy. Sometime. And I will
Definitely
be
keep it
honest,
spicy.
with our first child, whew, it was different because nobody ever told you how to be a parent, right? So it was so different. So I had to learn how to be a mom, how to be a wife, how to be a businesswoman, like working.
Right.
And it was different. And I had to learn that when you have your child, you get so caught up in the child. You get so caught up in making sure the baby's okay, but is your husband okay? You know, you caught up in the baby's fed, the baby's this, the baby's that, but knowing that you need your own separate time too, to grow and to release and to have time by yourself.
Right.
You have to make time for that. And with me, that was a big thing. The first pregnancy, time management was all out the window.
Yeah.
Because I was worried about my child. Not saying it's not our child, but I was worried about the child. And so time management for me was just out the window. I had to learn how to, okay, we're going to go on a date. Got to make time because now I got to find a sitter. That was something that I had to adjust to. At first,
Right.
It wasn't easy. I know we had conversations about it. I don't know what you have to say about it, but I had to adjust to that as a mother. It was different.
Yeah, it definitely was different. I think one of the biggest things was like you said, was just trying to, again, figure things out.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing that I had to learn was, parenting definitely does not come with a manual.
It doesn't.
I had to learn how to give my parents more grace, because as a child, you look at your parents and you think your parents know everything. But then once you become a parent, you realize
You don't know nothing.
your parents didn't really know nothing. They were figuring things out, but it was almost like the duck. The duck is, you look at them on the water, everything above water is smooth sailing. And that's what we see from our parents, but we don't see underneath those little feet just going.
Steady moving.
And that's what they were behind the scenes. And so, just realizing that, hey, my parents ain't know everything. Seemed like they knew everything, but they didn't. And then here I am now, I don't know everything. My kids, they're always, they think we know everything, can do everything. And it's like, nah,
It's like going with the flow.
Yeah.
You just go with the flow.
Yeah, and I mean, it's literally trial and error
Yeah.
with everything. It's, okay, I'm going to try this one. And some things work the first time. Some things work. Some things, especially with Brandy, we're still trying to figure out certain things that work with her and don't work with her. Because she's just so much different from Taylor, which is a good thing. Even if they were twins, you wouldn't want them to be the same person.
That's true.
So, figuring things out as a parent, and then figuring things out as a husband with the child.
Yeah.
Because it's totally different now. Tiffany mentioned before, trying to keep things spicy as a parent and things of that nature. And it's like, sometimes as for a man, from a male's perspective, you kind of do feel neglected at times. Like, hey,
what about me?
I'm here. What about me? I was here first. And you don't necessarily get jealous of the child, but it's like, okay, when are you going to give me the same attention that you're giving the child?
So you felt that way. You felt like beginning.
In some ways, yeah. And part of it was complicated by my work schedule at the time.
Yeah. I was hot. I was 100 degrees hot.
The former employer that I had decided to change our schedule. So I went from working 8 to 5 or something like that, to having to go in at 4 in the afternoon, getting off at 1 in the morning. So literally, I was seeing Tiffany and Taylor in passing.
Well, you wouldn't see me. Well, it was funny because, like he said, it's like I was mad. I told Mom I was so mad. She said, it's not his fault. I said, but I'm mad anyway.
Right.
Because I would work 7 to 4 and Brandon would work 4 to 1. So I'm like, well, how am I going to take care of this baby by myself? I ain't signed up for this.
So, I mean, I would literally see them in passing. I would get in the bed, Tiffany and Taylor were already asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany will wake up, get ready for work, get Taylor ready for daycare, and then, you know, they come, tell me bye, and then that will be all that I
We
would
won't
see
see
them.
each other until like Saturday,
to,
Sunday.
really Saturday morning. Because even though I was getting home at 1:30, I would try to get up, you know, 7, 8 o'clock whenever they got up on Saturday morning, and try to be as normal as possible. But yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Now that was a big adjustment for me, because being a new mom, and I felt like not his fault, but I was mad. I didn't have any help. That was a big adjustment. I had to adjust, but that's one of the things that we have encountered, a challenge. That's one of the big challenges in our marriage we had to encounter. I'm not saying there's not others, but and the truth about marriage is, like I said, just to go back to some of the truth points, you have to, like we talked about dating, you have to be honest, and you have to be open, and you have to learn how to be vulnerable.
Right.
You know, it's sometimes that, you know, we may have had a disagreement, but even in a disagreement, you have to learn how to communicate. And I think communication is a big thing. Now, I'm more of a communicator, I think, than Brandon. I'm more of a person that's going to talk it out and be like, okay, let's do this, whatever. Brandon's more of a silent person. And that's one thing we had to encounter during marriage. I had to learn who my husband was, right? Not saying I didn't know when I dated him, but you learn different things when you start staying with the person, right? And you come up, you're at the same roof, you know, when things start to happen, when you're dating, something happens, you can go to your own house.
Right.
When you're married, you got to figure this thing out. And the thing about it, we had to figure it out. And it wasn't always easy. It was challenging, but you know, when the communication came, it's been times that I got mad and I left. Like, I'm about to this for the birds. I just got in my car, so I'm just take a ride. And you was like, you kept calling my phone. I ain't gonna answer this phone because I don't have nothing good to say right now, right? So I remember you called Shaniqua that one time. You like, Shaniqua with? And you called Tiffany, she called me, where you at? I was like, somewhere. And she was just like, you need to go back home. I'm somewhere, I just need to be by myself. So I just had to be by myself. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that one-on-one time with you and God to just see, you know, God, what can I do? What could I have done better? Should I have left? You know, you need that time. I don't know how you feel about situations. I know it's been times when, I don't know if it's been times you have gotten in your car and left over the years, because we've been together, known each other since 2005. It's been a long stretch. It's been a long stretch.
No, I don't think I've gotten in the car with just that intent, you know, just to go, I'm just going to go for a drive by myself. I have gone places and it's like, you know, I'm going to just stay here a little bit longer than what I normally would, you know, like go to the gym, trying to think. Sometimes after choir rehearsal, I might stay and talk to Elder Williams a little longer, talk to Pastor a little longer. But, you know, it was never, oh, me and Tiffany just got in an argument, I'm about to get in the car and I'm going to go for a ride. You know, I didn't do that.
I did that.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I did it. Like, I ain't did it a lot. I mean, I probably did it a couple of times. I was like, just to clear my head.
It hadn't been a lot.
I just need to clear my head because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Because once you say something harsh, you can't take it back.
No.
So you have to be mindful when you get into these arguments and you're heated like that and you don't have anything good to say. You have to be mindful of what you're going to say. Right. So if that's the case, if it takes you leaving for a moment, I think it's okay. As long as you come home now. But if you're leaving for a moment, I'm not going to leave for the night. But if you're leaving for a moment or 30 minutes, yeah, I probably should tell you where I'm going. But at that point in time, let me just ride to the park somewhere or just ride around. Even if I take a loop around the block, just let me ride around and come back, because now I have my thoughts together before I say something that I can never take back, you know? And so that's one thing.
You see, like in those cases, I think what I'm more apt to do is just go outside. You know, I'm not going to go driving anywhere, but I will go outside, you know, sit in the garage, walk around the yard, or even just go for a walk. So I have definitely done that before, but just not, you know, getting in the car. I don't like driving a lot when I'm angry because I tend to drive even faster than what I already drive. And that's the last thing you want to do is go out there and drive recklessly and then something happen. And, you know, we've said something to each other or needed to say something to each other, and now we can't say it.
True.
So, you know, I just rather not get in the car and risk that. I feel better, you know, just being outside. Yeah, something could happen to me, but the likelihood of it happening isn't as high.
So what are some other challenges you think we have had in our marriage?
I know one, and I don't know how in depth we're going to go into it. Will be with finances.
Yes.
Like I told somebody earlier today, I was having a conversation, and essentially saying that it took me, well into my 30s for me to learn that you were just better with money than I am. I've never had a problem with, making money. I've been working since I was 16. And I think when I was about 18. I think I was 18. I probably didn't have a job for about a month or two, but I had money saved up, so it wasn't an issue. And then I got laid off in 2009.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I've been, I leave one job, I go to another job. I leave that job, I go to another job. So, making money has never been an issue for me. It's been spending the money wisely.
True.
One of the things you always say is, I have no problem with you going out buying shoes and, stuff like that, but we got to get these bills paid first.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, it was, I get my paycheck and a pair of shoes come out. I'm gonna go get these shoes and I'll figure out how to pay my bills later, which back then I had a cushion.
Yeah.
I had a safety net. I had my parents. But now I don't have that safety net.
Yeah. You are the parent.
Yeah, I am.
You
the
are the
parent.
provider.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is you learn as you go. But I've always been that type of person to keep money in my mom and dad jewelry box. I was like, Dad, I want something from the store. And then one day they found out my secret. I had like $250 in their jewelry box. My mom said, we're going to start fixing her. So they started using my money to get my snacks. Hold on. That's not how it works. But you're right. Finances have thrown us for a loop. You got laid off in 2009. You proposed in 2009. And you got laid off in 2009.
A few months after that.
And I got laid off in 2011. So, we took a hit. It's been times, just to be honest, you got to be vulnerable. We're going to be vulnerable with y'all. It's been times that was like, man, how am I going to pay these bills, Jesus? Because at some point in time, when you work in these jobs, I remember leaving Carolina First. And at Carolina First, loved my old supervisor. Talked to him about a month ago. So shout out to Stephen Wood. He's still there at TD Bank. We made pretty good money. I made pretty good money. I was young, didn't have a lot of bills. So my money was decent. And leaving there and venturing off to the company where I'm at now, even though I'm in a different position now, going to that company, I made less money. And for the life of me, I was like, man, I don't work my way up at TD Bank or Carolina First Bank and making good money. Not saying what I try to do is I try to not, when I make more money, I try to adjust my lifestyle too much, right? A lot of people make more money to adjust their lifestyle so much. I don't want to adjust my lifestyle that much. I want to keep a cushion. I want to get used to where I'm at and then eventually gradually move up. Right. So when I got to the other company, we had some trials and tribulations because I wasn't making as much money. But I had more bills coming out. So I'm like, how am I going to do this? So I'm going to be honest, it's been days I sit here and like, okay, God, how am I going to get these groceries? It's going to be open. How am I going to, got to feed me and the kids and Brandon. How am I going to pay this bill? Like my mama said, money don't grow on trees. I know that's old saying. But I don't tell my kids that now. But, we heard it growing up as a child. You from the South, you heard it, right? And I was just like, we got to figure it out. And I have to stop saying I because we had to figure it out, right? It's not I. My friend, shout outs to Miss Griffin, had to learn how to say not I all the time, but we. Because it's no longer just me. It's us together as a team. And we had to figure a lot of stuff out. And you have to understand when you're dealing with money, you have to know what every dime you're spending goes at. Because if you don't, you'll spend it any type of way. And I had to learn that because when you start to elevate in money, I had to realize that God is not going to elevate you until he knows that you can take care of what you currently have. Right. And I had to learn that because I would always pay my bills first. I'm not going to go out there and go shopping and not pay my bills. I'm that type of person. I'm very anal. Even the guy at the bank told me that. He was like, you're more of the financial person. I was like, yeah. And it's nothing against Brandon. You have to know your spouse's strong suit and weak suit. Right. And that's one thing we had to learn. My strong suit is finances. You know, that's just who I am. I'm going to sit there and make sure all the bills are paid. I know where all my money is going down to the penny. I'm going to know. I still write my stuff down. Even though we have online banking, I'm still going to write it down. So I think just for us going through that have taught us a lesson of, you know where your money is going. You know, have a joint bank account, but you can also have your separate account.
Right.
You know, have the bills coming out of one account so you can kind of track them. If you have your separate bills, have that coming out your separate account. It's a lot of twisting and turning we have done. Even since the pandemic, we've shifted a lot of things. You know, paying off stuff, you know, like why not pay it off? You know, why keep paying interest? Right. So we paid off a lot of stuff, down from cars, down to credit cards. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a sense of financial freedom. Cause I'm gonna tell you now, I can go on my paycheck. I ain't bragging. I can go on my paycheck now, and it's like, whew, I can do what I want to do. Right. Versus where's this money going? Because I'm paying this money on credit card, this money on credit card, this money on car. No, and I never tried to live above my means, but when we got laid off and stuff like that, it took a toll, and we just had to get back to where we were.
But you know, we were spending money on necessities because I mean, a car is a necessity.
Yeah.
You know, we did have some issues where we needed to use credit cards and things of that nature. But once those things get paid off, you just feel the sense of relief.
You do.
I know for me, it was good to be able to get my check. You know, I did steal a little bit from you. I will go and write out how much my bills are. So that way, you know, I can look at my check. Okay, subtract this out. This is how much money I have left over to play with. And it's good to see an actual number more than, you know, $100, $200.
Yeah.
You know, because before it was like, okay, every single dime seemed like was going towards someplace.
And you had no room to put savings. So it's good to say, if I go on my check right now, I say, okay, well, I got paid today and I get paid tomorrow. Or I go on my check and say, okay, I'm gonna put $500 up into a savings account.
Right.
Because you have it, right? But I'm gonna tell you this, you have to know, even down from your shopping, your bills, your eating out, it's good to have a budget. Like I set a budget of, I think I do like $120 a month for out to eat. And we sometimes when we hit that, nowhere close to that. But I may set a budget and I might say, you know what, this is the budget. Now once I hit a budget for something, we done. I don't care if we got 20 more days left in the month. If we don't hit that $120, we gonna eat in the house the whole time. Because my budget has been set. And you set a budget so you know that I have my savings, I have my out to eat money, I have my play money, I have my clothes money. If you do that, then you know it makes life a little bit easier. So I think finances have hit us hard, but I think now we are to a point that we've been adjusting for years, but I think we're now to a point that we have it under control. Right.
And I'm still getting better.
You know, we both have room to grow.
I know one of the things with the pandemic that, you know, I can credit Tiffany for was she had a plan to say, hey, we're going to pay off these things. And then, you know, okay, my car got paid off first. And it was like, okay, now that your car is paid off, I need you to give me X number of dollars per month. You can keep the rest of it that you were spending on your car. Do whatever you want to do with that, but just give me this amount of money. And within 6 months, we had 2 credit cards and her car paid off. It wasn't even 6 months.
It was 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
It was 6 months to a year.
And so, you know, you start seeing that, and then it just frees up everything. You know, you're not necessarily worried about how we're going to do this, or, you know, I'm going to have to save up for a whole year and put $10 up, $5 up just to get me a pair of Jordans at the end of the year. You know, I got a bone to pick with Jordan Brand, but that's a whole different issue. But, you know, being able to say at any moment, well, not at any moment, but most of the time when I know there's a pair of Jordans coming out, I can say, a pair of Jordans that I want at least, I can say, okay, I can make a plan, an easier plan to get these versus it's going to take me all year and my Christmas bonus. Which, I mean, at one point in time it was. I had to wait till November. Had to get my Christmas bonus. And even then, it was like, okay, I'm behind on X, Y, and Z. So let me go ahead and get that caught up first. And then, still got to get the girls something for Christmas. Still got to get Tiffany something for Christmas. Then if I got something left over, then I'll buy for me.
Yeah. It's a piece. A piece that you have. It's a financial piece, financial freedom piece that you have. Y'all keep in mind that when you pay off them bills, your credit score go up. Your credit score just jacks up. Because my credit score has always been good. Then it fell at one point in time, to be honest. I was at a 780. Then it fell. So now I'm back over 7 something. Because I was about to have a attack. Because I've never had a problem with my credit. I was like, why my credit score dropped? Debt to income ratio so doggone high.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I was like, oh, I got to put my debt to income ratio down because it's killing me right now. So that's another good thing. I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about one of the challenges in marriage. And I think one of the challenges in marriage is that when you don't communicate or when you don't spend time together, it causes infidelity, right? No, we have not cheated on one another as far as sleeping with somebody, kissing, touching, whatever. But people understand infidelity is not only physical.
Right.
It's mental, or it's doing something that your spouse may not agree upon, right? So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be vulnerable. It's been a point of time. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if there's anything bad or not, but Brandon would come home and he would sometimes be on his phone, and I was like, man, not saying I questioned what he was doing, but it's been a point in time. I did have a friend. Be honest. I have to be honest and be open, right? I want you all to, because I know somebody that's probably going through this. I had a friend, and we were just cool friends. We would talk on the phone, whatever. But, when you feel like you're getting close to a person, you're married, you have to question that. What are we doing in our relationship? What can I do better? Where did I go wrong? Nothing ever happened between me and the person. I'm just going to be honest. That's just me. So I've never messed with another man and been married to my husband. But at the same time, messing with is something different to different people. Because I think if my husband was spending time talking with another woman on the phone and just chilling, like, what up, what you doing, how you this doing, how that doing, but it was just time spent, right? I don't know if I would like that. So you have to question. One of my best friends told me, because she went through a divorce, and she said, hurt, Tiffany, it hurt. And she said, your spouse know when you start to do stuff differently, when you move differently. Like, well, I wasn't going nowhere, I wasn't going out with nobody, but still, when you're spending that much time, you have to ask yourself, is there something going on within my marriage? And you have to be open, you have to be vulnerable, you have to be truthful, and you have to communicate. If the communication is not there, it takes it to a totally different level.
Right.
You will go from talking to somebody to meeting up with somebody to sleeping with somebody. But I thank God that, me and Brandon eventually had a conversation after we had a little conversation and talking to some accountable people in my life, and I was like, you know what? First of all, I ain't about to get my 80 for no 20%. Let's be real, right? And like I say, marriage is not, I'm not going to say easy or hard. It's something that you have to work on. It's like you go to work for 8 to 5 and you put in work when you want that promotion. You have to put in work to keep your marriage thriving.
Right.
You have to put in the work, because if you don't put in the work, it's what you make it. If you think, oh, it's going to be there, it's going to be there. Another woman will be there, another man will be there. So you have to learn how to put in that work and just be open and honest.
And let me back up and deal with that work and marriage is hard piece. Because I think certain married couples and certain singles get scared away when they hear the words marriage is work or marriage is hard.
True.
It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
I'll just use me as an example. I like to lift weights. That's not hard work for me. It's something that I enjoy doing. 90% of it is by choice. Because squats aren't fun at all. But I have squatted for so long that now I enjoy it.
Okay.
And marriage and relationships in a lot of ways are the same way. If you go into it like, oh man, this is work, this is, a grind, then it's going to be that.
True.
But if you go into it and it's like, hey, this is somebody, prayerfully you're marrying your best friend. You know, let's just start there. Don't marry for sex. Don't marry for status or none of that
Or the
other
way they
stuff.
look, because they're going to
Yeah.
fade, honey.
You know, don't marry for any of if those reasons. But, you know, preferably you're marrying your best friend. You're marrying somebody that you can talk to, that you can hang out with. You know, that should be your ride or die partner. That should be, you know, me and Tiffany, we go to the theme park. I know, hey, I got somebody that's gonna ride a roller coaster with me. You know, I got somebody that, you know, kids, hey, let's send the kids over to mama's house and we gonna ride out to X place, wherever that is. And 99% of the time, Tiffany gonna be down. So in those regards, you know, you remember those times and you build upon those times, and marriage becomes fun. You know, some people would consider it work, but I consider it fun. You know, basketball players, you know, that's their job, that's work, but that's fun. You know, playing basketball is fun. Marriage is fun. You know, you get a sleepover with your best friend pretty much every night. You know, y'all get to tackle challenges and things together that otherwise you would have to go through by yourself.
That's true.
So, yes, it's work, but it doesn't have to be hard work, or it doesn't have to be hard work all the time. You know, have fun. You know, that's the one thing. I'm a fun guy. You know, I just like having fun, like laughing and joking and all that kind of stuff. And so that's one of the big things that I bring to the table. You know, lighten things up. When Tiffany starts getting serious, you know, I'm going to be the one that crack a joke. I'm going to be the one that inserts humor, especially inappropriate humor, at the wrong point in time.
Yeah, you will do that.
And,
God, help her.
And get her laughing, or anybody else that's around laughing. You know, I know Shaniqua told you today that, what was it, that she prays for me all the time, because it takes a special person to be married to Tiffany. But I'm pretty sure some of my people will be like, Tiffany, I'm praying for you.
That's what I told Shaniqua.
That boy ain't got it all.
I told Shaniqua. Now, she my best friend. I said, look, you my best friend. I told her, I say, yes, Lord, help me, because, you know, it took me to be married to Brandon, Lord Jesus. It did. To be married to someone special like him, but I'm going to stand beside him. I'm going to stand beside him. I'm going to stand beside him. Stand beside you.
Really?
I'm going to stand beside you. Can't go nowhere. I'm going to stand beside you. I'm going to stand beside you. But yeah, that's a big thing, I think, in marriages, when you lack communication and lack talking. Because I always told Brandon too, and that's something that I want to stand on. And we had a great conversation last night, just talking about some things. We sat here, we talked for 45 minutes, just being open and honest. And one of the questions I asked, I was like, "Do you trust me?" Right? And what did you say?
I said that you have not given me a reason not to trust you. And I would go crazy trying to overanalyze every little thing that you do.
True.
You know, when you say you're going to X place, you go to X place. I say either you're doing exactly what you say you're doing, or you are very good at hiding it, which I'm not about to wreck my nerves, because whatever's done in the dark will come out to the light eventually. True. So, you know, if you're out there, you know, saying you're doing X, Y, and Z, and you're doing something else in between that, at some point you're going to get sloppy, and I'm going to find out. So I'm not going to sit here and overanalyze. You know, you say you're going to the hair salon, fine. You know, I know about how much time it takes for you to get your hair done. I know, you know, traffic going to that side of town can be a little hectic at times, so I account for that. But, you know, if you was to leave here at 4 o'clock and it's, you know, 7, 8 o'clock and you're not home, then yeah, I'm going to call. But I'm not going to be like, okay, it take her 20 minutes to get there, an hour and a half to get her hair done, 20 minutes to get back. So if she leave at 4 o'clock, she should be home by this time. I'm not about to do all that.
And that's the same thing I told you. I told Brandon, I said, I trust you too, because you never gave me a reason not to, right? And like, if Brandon say I'm going somewhere and I'll be back 4 o'clock. Okay. He not back by, I'm that type of person. He not back by maybe 5 o'clock or something like that. I'm like, let me call and check on Brandon. Let me see Brandon okay. And if I call and Brandon be like, I'm good, I'm not gonna question Brandon like, who you with? What is this?
Right.
What is that? I'm not that type of person. I'm just gonna be like, you good? Yeah, you good. Like, okay. Yeah, I'm on the way home now. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you when you get here. I think that's the type of relationship we have. We have built that relationship with one another to trust one another. That we can be open and honest. You know, I'm going to this place. I don't expect you to question me every time I go somewhere because I'm not going to rake my nerve out and I don't expect him to. Same thing he said, whatever goes on in the dark will come out in the light. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are or how good you hide and stuff. Right. You're going to slip up one time. You're going to say the wrong thing or you're going to do the wrong thing because you can't keep coming up with these lies. Now, you have those people that come up with these lies, but eventually, I don't care if it's 10 years later, it's going to come out.
Right.
It's going to eventually come out. Right. I do not care. It's going to eventually come out. So that's one thing. You know, trust is a big factor.
It is.
You know, really our communication have gotten better over the years. The one thing we don't disrespect one another, especially in front of the kids. Mm-hmm. And someone told me, I watched a post on Facebook, and they were saying, you know, you and your wife and husband have a bond. You know, even when y'all in public, don't disrespect one another because people want to see that, right? Because they come in. Right. Like the devil come to kill and destroy, right? So you don't want people to see that because you want to stand as one unit. Right. Whenever you're out. Even if y'all having problems, you want to stand as one unit. Not saying you're faking it, but you want to stand as one unit. When you get home, you handle your business at home. Right. Every place and everybody don't need to see what you're going through. Right. Everybody's not there for you. You can have those people that smile in your face, want your marriage to fail. You know, and let's be honest, you have those people. But at the end of the day, you know, I think we have built the communication. Mm-hmm. It's still a work in progress. We're still working. God is our first source. Pray this thing on out. So, you know, it's been going good so far. I can't complain.
To piggyback what you were just saying, one of the things that I am a firm believer of, you stand together in public, mm-hmm. you correct in private. Yeah. So unless it's like life or death, you know, something like that, then yeah, you're going to have to correct and discipline in public. But, you know, if Tiffany goes out and says, hey, X, Y, and Z, whatever, you know, I got your back. We're going to show a strong face. Now, when we get in the car, I'm be like, hey, you know what you said wasn't all the way right? Yeah, it really, you should have said, I know what you was getting at, but you really should have said X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Okay, cool. But, you know, you never want to embarrass your partner in front of people. Because again, you know, you're going to have those people out mm-hmm. there that's looking for a way to get in. Looking for a way, you know, there could be a guy, see, I wouldn't treat you like that in public. You know how guys are with their slick comments. Yeah. You know, I treat you like a queen in public. I do this, you know. Not saying that she will fall for that. True. But you never know what people are going through and what people could do if given the opportunity. So you have that strong united front, and even in front of our kids. Yeah. You know, we have, you know, I'm quick. What did your mama say? That's Whatever true. Your mama said, that's what I say. You know, and vice versa. What your daddy say? Did you ask him yet? Because, you know, it's been very rare that they pull one over on us. And then they're not as slick as what I was, and hopefully they're sleeping by now. But
Taylor is the little one, probably around there somewhere doing something she had business doing.
But yeah, I just remember when we were younger, we kind of knew what parent to ask and when to ask them to get and even who to have asked that question to get the results that we wanted.
That don't work with me though.
Yeah, that doesn't work because I did it, so I kind of know when it's coming.
Now the little one will push the button. Now she will come and like she wouldn't go to bed, y'all. She wouldn't. Like she wouldn't go to bed.
What's the man? Charlie Murphy said on Chappelle's show, she is a habitual line stepper.
She was like, I want some water.
She gonna see that line and she gonna tiptoe as close to that line without going over it. But and if you move that line a little bit more, she's gonna inch up to that one. It's like, no, Brandy,
Yeah,
this is what we said. This is what it is.
She's that child. She's that child, y'all. She's that child. Now, another challenge I think we had in our marriage, I'm not going to say a challenge, but we had to agree to disagree, was disciplining our kids. What I mean by that is, y'all, now, I ain't always been, like, you know, I've come a long ways. I used to use some foul language. Every now and then a word would slip up. Pastor is still working on me, but every now and then a word may slip up. But Brandon, I don't think Brandon ever. I don't know if you ever cuss in front of the kids. I don't think he's never did until it's 9, right? But I did. Like I would get mad. I'd be like, go sit your. You know, I'm be honest and be vulnerable and be open, right? And I know some people are struggling this and thinking that they may be a bad mom or a bad dad. You ain't bad. You learn as you go. Yeah. And me and Brandon had to have that conversation. That's been a couple of times now, but snap. He was like, Tiffany, look, you don't need to be cussing in front of them. Like, who you telling? I had to get myself together.
Because, and got another story to share on that. But what you don't want to happen, and what's going to be very hard to do, is if they use some of the same language that you're using, it's going to be hard for Tiffany then to correct it, because you don't want to be that do as I say, not as I do type person. But it's funny because, you know, for me, I don't cuss out of choice. It has nothing to do with, you know.
Mine had a choice too. I was trying not to cuss out of choice. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's just, you know, it has nothing to do with religion or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's just my personal preference. I just choose not to use those words. I think them, but I just don't say them. That just
is bad, though.
It is. It is
bad.
You know, and I have some replacement words that I will put in those places. But in, you know, there's certain words that Tiffany doesn't use at all in front of the kids, or just in general.
I don't use in general.
In normal conversation, you know, she wouldn't use those words. But the baby girl was like, we was watching or listening to something.
We was watching a Madea movie last week.
Yeah. Y'all need to change this. They got too much cuss words in it. And we're looking like,
why she know what's a cuss word? Now I ain't never say that word in front of them.
But like we.
And yes, we were watching Madea in front of our kids. I was telling them it was a family night, and I want to see it. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, don't y'all say these words. Normally they don't watch movies like that. It was a movie night, and I wanted to see it. I didn't know what the movie, and you know, I didn't know if it was gonna be that much cussing on it, but it was a lot more cussing probably on this one. So we did watch it. I'm gonna be honest. Don't judge me. But we did. We did watch the show. But yeah, she was just saying, this is too much cussing on here. I'm sitting there looking at her. How does she know that's a cuss word?
You know, some of these words
we ain't never used.
We don't use them words. Don't get used around here. And even like with music, of course the radio doesn't play, you know, all the foul language. They letting a lot more go than what they did 20, 30 years ago. But, you know, all the foul language isn't in the music. And I know, you know, I try my best to be careful with what I listen to around them. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, how did she know that those particular words? I can understand Taylor. Taylor been around the block a little bit more.
Tell that little one, boy, I'm telling you.
She done been here before. I'm gonna do ancestry research to figure out which relatives done come back.
One of mine. It's like I'm playing.
It might be.
I'm just playing.
It might be.
But I think with that being said, was on that subject of the kids. I think I'm more of a disciplinary than you. I think with the kids, I don't really pop them much as more though. I don't really. I'm not gonna say I pop them a whole lot. So y'all be trying to send me the DSS now.
Yeah, they don't get spankings like.
But I don't really.
Like that anymore.
We try to talk to them and just listening to other parents and just friends, kids that are older, and you just have to understand that sometimes you have to listen to your kids. The same respect you want them to give you, you have to give them.
Right.
You have to allow them to be open and be vulnerable with you. And sometimes I'm gonna lie, if I'm in a rush, I'm not. I'm like, I ain't got time right now. Even this morning with Taylor, like, I was like, she was about to leave. You know, her godmama help out for her. She was about to leave, and I was like, Taylor, shh, on the prayer line, because somebody was trying to say something to me, and she was in here humming or dancing. And I was like, it's time to go anyway. So her dad was like, let's go. And she was in her dancing. I was like, shh, tell her. And so her godmother said, well, let her, she might want to tell you something. Don't you ruin her day, because you might ruin her attitude before she get to school. She was in here humming. She didn't want to tell me nothing. Well, you might want to ruin her day. Let her be happy when she go to school.
Oh, she gonna be happy because like our thing is in the morning when I'm taking the girls to school, we listen to Ricky Smiley morning show. Ja Lion is playing his chicken and waffles mix. Then right after that, Black Tony has his excuse as to why he's not coming to work today. And Taylor absolutely loves to hear why Black Tony's not coming to work every day. She done shushed Brandy and told me to turn up the radio plenty times so she can hear. So yeah, she might be frustrated when she leave the house, but as soon as she hear Ricky Smiley talk to Black Tony, she's good.
That's y'all thing in the morning.
Yeah.
My baby just be like, please, can y'all play something else?
Well, Brandy more so.
Listen?
Brandy more so likes the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have the mix. It's like the chicken and waffle mix, and then it's Ricky Smiley and Black Tony.
Oh, okay.
So Brandy be back there dancing. Some songs she knows, so she's singing, dancing, all that back there, and then she listens to Black Tony, but not the same way that Taylor does.
Okay. I have another question for you. What are you enjoying about our marriage so far? We've been in the game, like I said, it'll be 12 years next year. What have you enjoyed
next
in
month,
our marriage?
not next year.
Next month. I don't know why I said next year. Y'all excuse me.
I mean, we just keep things fun and don't try to overcomplicate things. We figured out, and in certain extents, still figuring out how we complement each other, and then go off of that.
Now, sometimes I could be a party pooper. Now, sometimes when y'all in here playing, sometimes they in here playing, I'm like, I don't feel like it. And so I have to learn that, okay, Tiffany, you have to get out of your, I don't want to say shell, but
I think in some ways, I don't give you a choice but to, when it's all of us. Now, It's a little bit more difficult when it's just me and you trying to be serious and I'm trying to play. That can be a little bit more difficult. But when it's all of us, it's kind of hard for you to remain in that state. True. Because you're just going to be sitting there.
Like we had a sock fight. I know. I was like, where did all these socks come from? But okay. Go ahead. I mean, yeah.
Once, like when we did have the sock fight, once you got hit a couple times, you probably said stop at the beginning, but then it's like, you know what? The only way I'm going to get them to stop is to fire back. It's to fight back. Yeah. Because if not, just going to be 3 against 1, and we just going to be lighting you up laughing while you mad. But then as soon as you got involved in it, it was like, okay, now it's really fun because it's every man for himself. Yeah. And then, you have the secret alliances going on. Hey, come and help me get this person. And the whole 9 yards. But we just try to keep things fun. We figure out how we complement each other and do that. Like, true story. Y'all can take my black card now. I don't know how to make grits. So, I'll make all the rest of the breakfast. Grits being cooked. Tiffany got to cook the grits. But it's just little things like that. We already mentioned the finances. If there's something that we're trying to accomplish, Tiffany would take the lead and, put the plan together to ensure that we're able to do that. And being okay with not being great at something.
That's true. Accepting that, you know, and that's one thing I had to learn, even with Taylor, with the homework, like, going back to talking to one of my friends, they were just like, sometimes you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. And I think that's big too. Know that sometimes, like with Taylor, sometimes we would bump heads. And I had to know that I just couldn't help her with her homework. Even though sometimes I wanted to, I can help her every now and then, but like for her to sit there for a long period of time, she kind of meshed better with her dad. And I had to accept that, even though like, I can help you, I know this too, but we were just bump heads. So I had to give it over to Brandon. And for some reason, she takes it better, she understands it better, and it's the way you communicate as well. And I'm learning with her. It's a learning process. And with Brandy, she'll come and say, Mom, can you help me? and I can help her. And we just go about our day. So have to know, have to know your kids, but know yourself. That sometimes, if he better at math, I may be better at English, just for example.
Right.
That I'm not saying that's true or false, but something like that. You have to know that what subject you're good at, or he may be the one that she reciprocate or go towards more than me. And it's nothing. And I had to learn. There's nothing wrong with it. Not that I don't love her. Not that she don't love me. I'm not taking it personal. He just better with her when it comes to things like that, and just learning. At the end of the day. But yeah, our marriage. I do enjoy our marriage. So answer that question. I do enjoy the fun times that we have. The trips that we take, the time that we spend to sit down and talk to one another. We both enjoy a lot of sports, so we talk about sports a lot in this household. He do watch some TV shows with me. I watch some with him, but he do watch some TV shows with me. So we'll sit down and watch TV shows. We're gonna watch one tonight. You don't know that before we go to bed. But he will sit there and watch TV shows with me. Now he don't really like Lifetime. I don't really do Lifetime too much anyway.
Yeah,
I would do Hallmark. But
See,
I usually do Hallmark a lot during the holidays.
I can do Hallmark Christmas movies, even though I can tell you what's going to happen within the first 5 minutes of the movie, because they have about 4 or 5 different plots that they follow, and some of the plots they kind of mix together. But for the most part, I know what the movie is going to be about within the first 5 minutes. But I can still watch the Christmas movies. All the other movies, nah, you can have them.
Careless.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what do you think that, and this may be the last question, what do you think we can work on in our marriage? How can we improve, or do you think it needs improvement from there?
I mean, I think everything, if you're not improving, in my opinion, you're getting worse.
Okay.
Because we are constantly changing. And so if we're doing everything, if 5 years from now we are in the same place that we are right now,
okay,
we have taken a step backwards instead of taking steps forward.
Okay.
Because we've grown. Well, 5 years from now we would have grown as people. I can't think of any specific things that we would need to, that I would say we definitely need to improve on this, because I think we are constantly working on things.
Okay. Constantly
figuring out how to better communicate with one another. How to, communicate in a certain way, in a way that we actually hear and understand the other person's point of view, and being okay with, okay, we just have a differing of opinions.
And not being afraid to voice your opinion, because sometimes in some relationships, you might not want to voice it. Depends on where you are in your relationship. But one thing, like you said with us, I'm not shy. I don't shy away for telling you how I feel.
Right.
And the one thing I had to learn from my kids, from growing up, everybody said I was mean. I had to learn how to, and I'm still learning how to talk to people, right? I have a nice heart, but I'm very blunt, and I had to learn how to express myself, right? Because I realized that if I'm on a level of yelling, or he's on a level, which we never, I don't know if we ever even yell at each other. We could have, I don't know. But if we're on that level, you're not hearing one another. So it's just two people, you're not hearing one another. So I had to learn that if I want him to listen to me, first I have to respect him as a man. At the end of the day, you can't go and I can't come at him a certain way. And I'm not saying I haven't done it before, because I know I have. I have came at him a certain way. This is only being honest and being open. I've never put my hands on him, because my mom always tell me, don't put your hand on the man. You want him to put his hands back on you. And that's one thing I will do. We've never done that to each other. It's a level of respect, even though we may not agree. And so now I'm in this mindset. Like, I took this class, I think I talked about last podcast, 7 Habits of Effective People. Like they said, a paradigm is the way you see, the way you see things, see and understand things in the world, right? So it's what you make of it. And I always say, sometimes you compromise in a relationship. But after that class, it taught me the win-win situation, right? I win, he win. We win together. Versus him compromising or whatever. And I know sometimes you may have to give up stuff or revamp. But at the end of the day, We're in this thing to win. Right. We ain't going nowhere unless God tell us different. But at the end of the day, I love my husband. I know my husband loves me. This is just a part of the smalls you all got to see with no judgment, open, nothing filtered. That we told you some things about our life, some truth about our marriages, some challenges. Our marriage. Yeah. Let me get that right. A truth about our marriage. Take the S off, buddy. And just some challenges that we've been through in our life, you know, dealing with like finances and other things. And we hope that this helps someone that's going through, that may be afraid to open up or talk to somebody. You know, talk to your spouse. Communicate. Because if you want that marriage to work, just be open. Just be honest. Even if you have to cry. Sometimes you have to. You have to. You got anything to say?
Don't cry.
Don't cry.
Don't cry.
Some people have to get it out.
Don't be no little punk. Cry in the car.
Cry in the car, nobody can see you?
Yeah, cry in the car.
Don't listen to him, y'all. Don't listen to him.
I'm good.
You good?
You know, don't compromise. Think win-win. Because when you compromise, that means
somebody's giving up something.
One or more people have to lose something. Mm-hmm. You don't want to feel like you're losing something. You want both parties to feel like they're gaining something. Mm-hmm. So stay away from compromise. Think win-win to try to figure out, hey, what's the best solution? I know you have your idea. I know I have my idea. Let's put our ideas together and come up with a great idea that will work for the both of us. Mm-hmm. Where both of us are getting what's best. Not necessarily you're getting what you want or I'm getting what I want, but let's work to get something that's best for both of us. Okay.
And also, don't forget we're gonna put the link in the YouTube for the book
Hava and the Unicorn.
Hava and the Unicorn.
You can check out our social media pages. I'll be posting a flyer for that as well. You can see all the outlets that you can pick it up at, see what the books look like, see what my mama look like if y'all don't know my mama.
And also, prayerfully next month, I'll be dropping some things next month. So just stay tuned. And also, y'all, we have 99 subscribers, right? We need one just to get to 100. I really don't want just one more, but
I mean, will there be one? I'm gonna say like
you gonna say what?
Like Pastor would say, the doors of the church are now open. Will there be one? Will you be that one?
Would it be that one
that joins us?
Jesus, please be that one for him. Jesus be a fence all around it. But we're just asking that you all go to YouTube, check out the Smalls Talk podcast. We hope you enjoy this episode into our life, what we have been through, what we're still going through as far as accomplishing, revolving, growing together as a couple, as a family. Right. And just check us out. Just let us know what topics you all would like to discuss, and we'll go from there. Until then, we're the Smalls.
Peace.
Have a good one.